Greetings, tasty morsels. It's Reverse BLT here. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight, I am watching episode 4 of the first season of Severance. It is entitled The You Are.
Ooh, bacon.
Not even going to try to figure that one out.
Oh, God.
I figure it just has to do with, the separation of identities that the severance process creates. The question, though, is the you are going to be referring primarily to the inner or any or whatever, or is it going to be primarily referring to the outie? I guess we could also just split the episode and do both. Last episode, looks like Petey died. Mark discovered the sort of maze or map or whatever that was left for him in the picture that he had of them together. And it's very interesting how, one would assume that Petey just understood Mark well enough, at least work Mark well enough to have a pretty good idea that he would look behind that picture. Which is kind of funny because he almost didn't. Maybe Petey kind of underestimated how hard it would hit Mark to lose him. And since he didn't really know anything about Mark's core personality, because that's interesting too, it seems that while their memories are different, maybe their personalities from inner versus outer are not really that different. Because work Mark, his first instinct was to get rid of the stuff that reminded him of Petey. And we know that he basically took on this job, took the severance procedure, primarily as a way of running away from his unresolved grief over losing his, I'm assuming, wife. Obviously, we still have tons of questions. Why is Helly so important? Because she clearly is extremely important to this project, whatever it is that they're doing. Why did she volunteer for this process? Like, what are the stakes? Because this feels like something that has very high stakes for some reason. It gets right to the heart of the mystery. Like, what the hell is Lumen even up to? What is this place? What are they doing? What are these numbers? Why do they make people afraid when they look at them and find the right ones? I'm honestly like, the more this is going on, the more I'm leaning towards some weird Lovecraftian, eldritch elder god kind of deal going on here. Especially considering how much the Egan family? Yeah, the Egan family, they feel like a fucking cult. Lumen itself just feels like a cult. Even the name, Light. The name is Light. What the hell is going on in this place? What's the deal with the board? Why does is the board even a person? I have so many questions.
All I can be is sorry, and that is all I am.
So the room in which we break you. Ellie looks like she's broken. Can't believe I didn't even think about the pun involved with Milchek's name here. At least what I think is the pun. Mill, sort of almost like micro, and Check, and he's the guy that checks on everybody. So he's the micromanager. Place has such Scientology vibes. Like she's getting audited right now.
What do you mean?
What happens if the person never means it? What do?
We'll try again in the morning.
Okay. I keep expecting this company to kill someone. They feel like they'd go that far. I figure it's probably about time in the story for us to follow Helly's outie, because we need to start getting a little bit of information to understand why she's here. Okay? We're not getting it yet.
Fuck me.
Literally. Well, not literally, but yeah.
Again, please. Now.
What the hell is that voice?
Okay, so I wasn't imagining that. Seriously, is Cthulhu going to come out at the end of this series?
I really am sorry.
You know what? I've heard this before.
No paraphrasing.
This voice.
Again.
There's like a slight undercurrent when the board is present. And I think it's similar to what I'm hearing right now.
Hi. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Why does Dylan fear him so much?
Wanted to extend
Largely
an
because of
invitation. Again,
just
I know you work hard, so
the
if an
size
informal
of
tour
the
of
actor.
OD.
I'm thinking Christopher Walken is the inside man who's helping Petey.
Kia's whole original vision saw us all working together.
That was before O&D started disemboweling people's bowels.
Wait, what? So they have these creepy legends about what O&D does to people.
How many times?
Yeah, well, the break room has definitely broken her.
1072.
Whoever Helly is someone who's extremely strong-willed. Cute ginger who looks great in the pencil skirt is also strong-willed too. I'm like already in love with this character. Outside her is probably evil though.
I like to imagine my Audie's love made with a MILF or two, which is obviously badass, but I do pity the husbands.
When we meet Dylan's Outie, if he ends up being every bit as badass as Dylan thinks he is, that would be the best possible payoff to all of that.
I never thought I'd see the handbook passage depicted visually. It was only up for a month or so. Man, what a month.
Not doing anything to dispel my belief that this place is a cult.
Rise up from your deathbed and sally forth, more perfect for the struggle.
Both of them are true believers, man. Kindred spirits.
What time is it? I have to go.
Oh, did I make it weird? I'm sorry. I did not mean to make it weird.
Why are you the way that you are?
Oh, fuck. Oh, I forgot the fact that the book was called The UUR. Come on, brain. Come on. You have one job. We're going to have the seeds of doubt going with several people.
Will you put that away? But what do I?
It's all starting to fall apart.
Why aren't we supposed to map the office?
It's an Egan rule, render not my creation in miniature.
Render not my creation in miniature. Jesus Christ. My poor inner would be in trouble. I would doubt my inner would be any less of an atheist than me.
Your best friend left this for you, and you don't give a shit.
Are you really going to shred it?
I don't give a shit.
Mark,
Wow. Well, there's no recovering that. Well, I mean, there is, but it would be a pain in the ass. Fucking crosscut.
Mark! It's an emergency.
I found a book.
Mark, what is this?
Maybe it's another PD message. Flip through, see if my name's anywhere.
It's like looking around thinking it's a test.
I'll be turning this into Milchick.
What? Why? It's booty. It's booty with your name on it.
Excellent decision, Mark. This is an idolatrous text that should be brought to him immediately.
Idolatrous? Is there going to be a statue of Egan holding tablets?
Shun the non-believer.
Are you really going to try to piece together that map from a crosscut? I guess she's got nothing better to do except look at scary numbers, right? You gotta really love puzzles to try to piece together a crosscut. Or is she gonna try to hurt herself? That was a paper cutter.
Excuse me, Helly.
Jesus, Helly.
I want a camera.
Oh, please don't.
You're going to give me a video camera so I can tape a resignation to my Outie right fucking now. Or you're going to have to explain to her why she's missing 4 fingers.
Okay. That's
Oh,
just...
please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
Do I look like I'm fucking around right now?
No, you do not.
Oh my goodness gracious. My brain is making me feel that pain in anticipation, and I don't like it. Thank you. Man, this woman has fucking nerves of steel, though. Jesus Christ.
Hey.
Who is outside her? I have a feeling that anybody else they would have let go by now. So she's incredibly important to them.
Well, boss, guess this is the part where I should tell you to go to hell.
But you're already here. You're going to come right back. Your Outie is dedicated to whatever the hell they're doing here. She made her a video.
I am a person. You are not.
Wow. Outside Helly is
the decisions.
evil.
You do not.
What are the stakes? Something big is going on here. Outside Helly had the kind of resolve you see from like a freaking CIA operative. Someone who thinks that their sacrifice is saving the fucking world.
Have you heard from the board yet?
No.
It wasn't your fault.
Still don't have an answer as to whether or not the people running the show down here have been severed. And I keep going back and forth on that.
What?
Oh, these the 9 principles of Lumen or whatever? Okay. All right.
What?
That's a data point in favor of her being severed. Either that or just genuinely another true believer who isn't. I don't know.
Mrs. Silver?
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Oh, he used to come by my shop. Poor man. Well, on the upside, at least now we both have a date.
If she is not severed, she is one of the greatest actresses of all time. Like,
He was my dad.
Oh, I suppose you were close and everything.
generally, you would assume that about a parent and their child.
Remember that. It'll be important later.
Baptist churches and such do these sorts of things so much better. It's not a somber, depressing affair. Everyone's like talking about their memories about the person and kind of having a little bit of fun in a weird sort of way. But this is nice. I like this. Memories. Sandman, sleep with one eye open. I think I'm getting my answers now. Then Selvig definitely is not severed. Unless outside self is also just dedicated to Lumen. I'm genuinely kind of surprised they weren't able to just get the funeral company to do this for them. Lumen seems to have the resources and the clout, whereas they needed one of their own to go get their hands dirty. If they know that PD was reintegrated, it's reasonable to assume that he would seek out Mark, and especially with the way Mark's been acting lately, they should have a tail on him. But evil corporations in sci-fi do tend to have weird blind spots in their thinking, so... Oh, this is where his wife died, eh? Car crash? Partly explains why he is having such a hard time with it. Sudden death is so much harder to handle than when someone dies from a prolonged illness or something and you have time to kind of come to terms with it.
That's Petey.
That's Petey.
What do you mean that's Petey? Is the chip more than just a thing that severs them? Is the chip the innie?
If I embarrassed myself.
You didn't. Unless you did. Are you embarrassed?
No.
This is going to be fascinating to watch this unfold.
I know the handbook, old man. I'm more of a first edition guy. Original word of Kia.
Revisions of Holy Writ. There are different versions of the text, my friend.
But I've lived abroad as a vagrant, abstaining from my own money to rely.
I swear to God, the things that rich people get up to, man.
I'm gonna go.
Do it. I'm working up till the bell. I think I may still crush this thing tonight.
Gotta get that waffle party. All right, what are you doing, Dylan? Maybe it'll turn out that Dylan's the secret inside man. Okay, I assume she's trying to hang herself.
Acrostic poem experience by the author Rickon Hale.
Acrostic. Jesus Christ. Varsity vocab word.
Of home and of earth. T is for terror.
What was that place? Is that optics and design? I thought there were only 2 people in optics and design. You don't talk about a way I would not want to go out hanging, especially from a low height like that. You're going to strangle to death. You're not going to have that snap that supposedly kills you instantly. This place has cameras everywhere, right? Like, how do they not know she's planning on doing this? And that's where it ends, eh? Wow, even letting us hang on the black like that.
Hey, phrasing!
No pun intended, of course. All the episodes are intense in a way, but like that one was like more sort of like viscerally intense. We had a lot of I won't say body horror, though I think maybe as close to what I'm thinking of, but like a lot of moments where the discomfort and the tension was being evoked using harm to the body, threats of harm to the body, desecration of a corpse, even though I don't really normally care about that. I figure once you're dead, your meat doesn't really matter what happens to you. And we got the image of seeing someone's head get drilled into again, which, dead or not, still makes you think of your own head getting drilled into. But my goodness, man, Helly almost cutting off her fingers. I can feel that in my fucking nerves. Work Mark is still trying to run away from things. And that seems to be just a trait of both top side and bottom side Mark. I am convinced that that's one of the things that's the same between the innies and the outies is their core personality traits, whether they're the types to run away or run towards danger, whether they're the types to fight back or give in. But then you can see how the memories that they have sort of shape how those personality traits are expressed. So Helly, as I mentioned earlier, has this very strong will. So both outside and inside, very strong-willed person who is defiant, but outside person is hard. She gave me CIA agent vibes, the vibes of someone who has a mission that is incredibly important. Whatever's going on here isn't about work for her. There's something that she thinks is big and has huge stakes. The way she talked to her Annie was was very cold and callous. And I honestly felt like I was watching someone who's sat across from someone in Gitmo before and tortured them. You know what I mean? That's how outside Helly kind of feels right now. This thumbnail for the next episode is really making me think of one of the most fascinating things that's developing here, which is this relationship that's starting between Irving and is it Bert? It's kind of funny. He kind of actually reminds me of Bert from Sesame Street in this role. Very, very nerdy, very obsessed with this like very niche kind of interest. Oh my goodness! I wonder if they chose the name Bert for that reason. But yeah, I wasn't expecting this. So this is really fascinating to watch as well. Definitely looks like their boss is not severed. And I find that interesting too. I hope we get a definitive answer to that, because it's either that or she has an Outie who is also just Lumen employee who's dedicated to the cause and lives sort of undercover, but is still not the same personality, which I can see reasons to do that for compartmentalization of information and everything. But man, that's a whole other level of commitment, right? But the big thing, obviously, that little cliffhanger at the end.
How dare you, sir?
I don't think Helly's dead. For one thing, we've got cameras everywhere. So it's really weird to me that nobody would have noticed her getting ready to do that. I would think there'd be cameras in the elevator as well. She's incredibly important to them. The character still has a lot of work to do, I think, in this story. So there's no way she's exiting this soon. So yeah, she's definitely still alive. Curious to see how that plays out, and also the fallout from all this information that's coming along that's going to deliver these ontological shocks for these characters. And I will use the word ontological because the religious overtones in this show are deliberate. These people, an entire system of essentially religion has been constructed for them around the people they work for and the founder of this company. And they're now being exposed to heretical information, so to speak, from the outside that's going to cause all sorts of like tension and, you know, schisms and everything else here. And I'm very interested to see how they play this out. It's like the microcosms they're doing for actual historical movements and things. It's just interesting too. Such a layered show. I'm really, really glad I started watching this. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this episode, how you think things are developing, where you think things are going. As always, if you already know what's going to happen, use your spoiler warnings and at least 5 or 6 lines of empty space before you start talking about it, so you don't just like spring spoilers on people, because mysteries are best enjoyed, in my opinion anyway, without knowing what's going to happen. So yeah, please keep doing your part to keep everyone pure. As always, do your best to stay safe and be well, and I will see you for the next one. Bye-bye.
Da 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 da.